Hey folks, I'm Pete, and this is Pete's Eats Cooking Videos. Today I have a real treat for you. We're gonna make carrot soup, and this carrot soup is wonderful. It is delicious, it's easy, and it's fast to make. So let's begin. So here's what you're gonna need. Vegetables, carrots. You don't have to buy expensive carrots with the tops on them. They make no difference in taste. So some carrots, leek, potato, onion. In terms of the spices, garlic, thyme, rosemary, salt, pepper. I like putting a little bit of hot sauce, balancing out the flavor with something sour like vinegar. In terms of the liquids, chicken stock, I have some homemade, I have some store-bought. If you want, you can use vegetable stock or water, and a little bit of cream just to give it a velvety finish, and it's gonna be fabulous. Okay, so I've peeled back one layer of the leek and I'm ready to chop it up. Obviously, you can see leek are notorious for having sand in between the membranes. So you really want to wash the leek nicely and thoroughly before you use it. So what we're going to do now is we've cut up all the vegetables into big chunks and we're going to put them in the pot. The quantities will be in the bar below. A little bit of salt, pepper, thyme, HERBAMARE. So here's some HERBAMARE I'll put in. I'll adjust all this later, but I'll put a bit of HERBAMARE in there now. Some pepper, some rosemary. This is just dried rosemary. Of course, you could use a fresh if you want. Fresh thyme. So I'll throw a couple thyme springs in there. I'll fish out those stems later. I'm going to add another about 4 cups of water. That's nice. Most of the vegetables are submerged now. So we'll let it come to a boil. And then we'll let it simmer at a nice rolling pace for about 10 or 15 minutes till everything softens up. I've got some diced onion here and we're gonna fry it up until it's nicely browned. I've salted it, put some butter, and we'll just fry it up. You don't want it black, you want it nicely browned, and it's gonna add a fabulous flavor to the soup. Okay, so here the onions you can see have nicely browned. So I'm gonna put them into the soup. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some of that stock from the soup and I'm going to clean out this nice frying pan with that stock so we get all those little bits at the bottom of darkened onion. I think that's pretty good right there. And there you go. Now I'm going to let that simmer for, I don't know, another 5 or 10 minutes until all the vegetables are soft. Then I'll fish out those thyme stems and we'll whiz it up and away we go. So it's been about 20 minutes to a half hour that they've been boiling / simmering. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and puree it with the hand drawn pureer. You can do this in a blender if you want, or a food processor. I prefer just to do it right in the pot. So I'm going to turn this right down to low and do it here. Timing's not important. If you have more time, you can leave it for another hour and then come back. It'll just be easier to puree. Okay, so now I've pureed it, and I think this is way too thick. I'm gonna thin this out. You could use water, milk. I'm gonna use some white wine, so I'm gonna put some white wine. I love cooking with white wine. I'm also gonna put cream to make it really beautifully creamy and rich. So I'm gonna put some cream in there. Let's stir that up, see what that looks like. Okay, that's gonna be really nice. And now, really you wanna flavor it. So you wanna check the salt level. You wanna check the sour level. There shouldn't be too much sour, I guess a little bit from the wine. And you wanna check the pepperiness. So I'm gonna add definitely a little bit of vinegar, and then I'm gonna check the flavor. So I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of vinegar, and I'm gonna check and see what it tastes like. I forgot, I want to also add a little bit of Frank's Red Hot. I think there's a nice warmth given to this soup. You can use cayenne pepper, I've used that, or any version of hot sauce that you have. So let's give this a try. Really nice. I think just a little bit of more salt for me. So here you go, a huge pot of carrot soup, hearty wintertime meal. I fried up a little bit of old bread, made wonderful croutons. We topped one with oil, we topped one with drizzle of cream. It's delicious, you're gonna love it. Enjoy.